In this tutorial, I will try to demonstrate how to build a custom integration in IntuList. This tutorial is meant to only be used as a guide and not a blueprint. The reason is because there are as many ways to build an integration as there are integrations out there. The cool thing about IntuList is it has a custom integration module that you can use to integrate with virtually any platform. Today, I will show you how to import context to Ontraport from IntuList. Ontraport is an email marketing platform, and I do not know much about it. The reason I picked it to show you how to integrate with their API is because it is relatively straightforward and can, in my opinion, be used as a guide to build other integrations. I will walk you through how I personally approach integration building in IntuList. So here's my IntuList account, and here's my Ontraport account. So at the end of this tutorial, hopefully there will be a contact in here that I will send from IntuList to Ontraport. All right, let's get to it. So the first thing that I'll do is obviously I create an account, which I'm assuming you have an account somewhere. The next thing is, well, let's go to Google and find out how to integrate with it. So this is Ontraport, so what I'll literally do is I'll go to Google and type Ontraport API create contact. I mean, that's it. So right here immediately I see use Ontraport's API. Let's click on that. Okay, so we land on this page. So here it says, again, I'm a developer, so a lot of these things come naturally to me. Like, you know, you probably have to look around a little bit, but you know, for the most part, it's very straightforward. So down here, I can tell you that this is probably what we're looking for. For detailed information, visit our official Ontraport API documentation. So let's go there. Okay. All right. So this does look like an integration API documentation type stuff. So for example, there's contacts. See, there's create contact. So yeah, I can see that this is the right documentation. This is what I'm looking for. So what I'll do is I'll go to introduction here. Okay, obtaining an API key. So there you go. So these guys will issue an API key that you will put into IntuList and then send data to it using that API key. So let's go here, administration settings. Let's click on that. So that redirects us apparently to Ontraport API keys. All right, I see a button here. It says new API key. Let's do that. All right, so it looks like these guys ask you for some information on what you're going to be using the API for. So let's just do, all right, import contacts from my site. All right, it looks like they want you to, let's see, if you're adding content, oh, okay, from my site. So if you'll be adding new contacts via the API, where will they be coming from? So let's see, let's just type IntuList.com. Oh, sorry, mistyped. IntuList.com right there. If you'll be adding new contacts via the API, they are also being added to other platforms. No, let's just do no. All right, agree. Again, this is just a test. I'm not really reading any of that. So let's go save. And so it looks like I have to name it my API key and API key permissions. Me. See, again, I'm not really sure why they ask all this information, but this is just an example of an API. Not every API is going to do that, I promise you. So add contacts. So this is the permissions that I'm given to this key apparently. Search contacts, I don't really care about any of that. I just want to be able to add contacts. Save. Now that we've saved it, you see on this page we've generated a new API key which comes with an app ID and an API key. So 1 and 2. So now let's go back to the documentation. Let's find contacts right here. And right here we'll say create a contact. So I can tell you right away that the request endpoint is this. Might be the it says it right there. So let's go to IntuList, go to a client, any client really. Let's pick this guy here. Go to integrations. This guy already has 2 integrations. We're going to build another one. Add new. Again, we don't have an Ontraport pre-built integration, so we go to, you guessed it, custom API. So Ontraport. All right, get or post. Well, I can tell you right away that this is a post because of this. This is an example request right here using curl. That's like a tool you can use on the command line. But we know it's a post, so we go back here, we do a post, and then go back here. We know that the endpoint is this. Grab that, paste. All right, so now we know that's the endpoint, but now we need to know what to post in the body of the request. And the body of the request is this right here. So this is the data that's being posted, and by this I can tell you that it's a form. So we're going to be using form data. Okay, it looks like they're using first name, last name, and email right there. So these are the names of the parameters that they accept. So first name, again, this is, I mean, other integrations may use fname or fn or whatever. But here, when we build this, we need to map this to the right value in IntuList. So here, you click on it, and we know that it's a first name. Same goes for last name. Last name. And email, right? Yes, email. Because some of them will use, let's say, email address or something like that. So this is email. And we know that it's mapped to this email thing. All right, now, this looks good. We know that first name, last name, email is going to be posted to Ontraport. However, as you recall, we generated this API key. So that's how their system recognizes which account to import the data to. And now I'm wondering how to post those keys as well. All right, so it looks like they're going to be, you know, it looks like the headers are going to contain the API key and the app key. So the way they tell you to do it is by using this. Go to headers, and here's the same key value pair kind of thing. So API key and app API key and API app ID are the values. So we haven't pasted them here yet, but we will in a second. So it looks like, well, yeah, you can grab it from here as well. So API app ID is this. Let me copy that. And all right, so this is API key, right? Nope, never mind. That's app ID. So that should have been down here, and the API key is going to be this one. That one will go to the top value right there. So from what I can see, based on this documentation and what I built here, I should be able to just send a test request, and we should get a successful response, and a contact should appear in here on this page once we refresh it. So let's go ahead and do that. Now these values, when I hit send test request, these values right here, these are placeholders. So the system will offer us to replace it with something. So when you do that, the test lead that we use here is Neil Ostrich. But let's say we want to do something like Oscar Martinez, for example, and the email is Oscar M 1998 or something like that. So let's do send test request, and we can right away say that the status is okay. So that's the HTTP code that they send back. It's 200. That means okay. But mostly, I can tell that it's okay based on the request. Based on the response here. So code 0, see right there, code 0 and data, and in the data they just respond with whatever it is that you sent there. So I can tell you that this integration is good to go. It's definitely properly built. The only thing that I will add to it is we need to put something into the success response settings to identify, to tell the system how to identify a successful post. So here we know that code 0 is that means success. Something that's unsuccessful, I'm assuming, is going to come back with something else. Yeah, I mean, I would just grab this right here, code 0, and just paste it right here, and that way the system will just match that in the body of the response right there, and be able to tell the request was successful and the lead got accepted on the other end. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and refresh this page and see if that contact actually made it there. And in fact they did. So Oscar Martinez, here it is. That's the email address we used. So it's good to go. All we got to do now is save the integration, and there it is, Entreport.